Oh
Oh,
my
there.
gosh, we're live. Hi, we're calling in from Anything. This is Alina and Philip. Yesterday, we launched Research Agents, which really seemed to blow up. People seemed to really like the Research Agents. To give context again, with Research Agents, really the goal is like, as projects get bigger, it's a lot tougher to manage the code base. Your experience, that magic moment of vibe coding, is very different when you have one file versus when you have 50. So Research Agents speeds everything up, makes everything a lot easier. We put it out as like vibe coding is over, and that seemed to spark a lot of interesting conversation. So we're excited to get a little bit further into it today. And I'll hand it over to Philip to introduce himself.
All right. Hello, I'm Philip. I'm one of the engineers here at Anything. Today we're planning on taking a look at the research sub-agents that we just launched, um, which should help a lot of people with their big projects. I've run into many users through Dylan who are complaining that their huge projects just aren't getting fixed because the agent doesn't really know how to go through the project. So yeah, we're gonna work on how we use that today.
We're gonna show you how to use research agents, and we have a couple of different projects that we're working on. There's a These are bigger projects that we've already put together. So, Philip, I'm curious, which one should we start with? Should we start with the scavenger hunt, or should we start with the Pokemon one?
Um, I think it's better to start the Pokemon app so that we can have it building in the background while we work on the other ones.
All right,
Um,
sounds good.
let's see here. All right, sick. So, can everyone see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Oh, okay, there we go. All right. So, we have a blank project here. I have this huge prompt for Pokemon ready in honor of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green coming out for the Nintendo Switch. If anyone knows about that. Um, so we have this huge prompt that's supposedly going to make a relatively big project. Probably not as big as other people's projects that exceed maybe like 100 files or even like 1,000 files, but this should be enough to show everyone, and demonstrate how research subagents work. So we're going to kick this off. And while that is going, I'm going to switch tabs here, show a different screen.
Of one we made earlier.
Yes. So Alina made this project, and it is a relatively it's a decently sized project.
Do we
Is
want to
that
show? Do we want to show what the project looked like before we broke it, just to show the number of screens and like all the data that's in there?
not sure? I'm pretty sure it's only broken on this page, so I think
Okay,
that's
all right.
okay. I guess not. I guess it's
So
just
we
broken.
broke the project fully. The
We'll see,
project.
we'll see it as a reward if subagents figure out what's going on, and then we can debug it. So this is assuming you have no technical experience. You don't really want to look into the code because you don't really know how, or you're just too lazy to look into the code. The agent should be able to know how to do that. And we're also going to assume this fix this button is not going to work because sometimes it just doesn't. It could because the agent is so focused on fixing the project that it doesn't think to go throughout the entire project and look for where the issue is happening. So one small thing, we're just going to look at this error message here. So this should not be here as an error message because we want to give at least some context if we can about the error. And that seems like a very easy error message to catch and then give to the agent. So we're going to say use research subagents to find where the error. This should not be here. What's happening?
So to give context, the way we broke this out was we quite literally went into a file and then added error. This should not be here. And it is a scavenger hunt for the subagents to essentially find that context.
Yes, and this block right here shows you that the research agents are actually working. If it has a yellow dot, it is actively searching the code base for any errors.
I think this is too easy of a prompt. Like it only had to launch one research sub-agent for us to find this.
Potentially. But the whole idea here is that there's going to be multiple sub-agents that check multiple files and go throughout the entire project. Alina, do you have any more big projects that you want to potentially give me?
Well, I think there are a couple ways that we can do this. One is like we could go back into this original project. Oh, well, first, shall we go ahead and fix the dashboard on this?
Oh, yes. Fix it.
So I think there are a couple of ways we can do this. One is like we can work really hard to see how many times we can prompt the sub-agent by essentially trying to overcomplicate it with like many different conversations and also just like a lot of different feature asks. The other approach is that we can go into the Cadence app, which is like the mobile app, which is a little bit bigger, and we can go through and try and build more features there, or break it again. What do you think?
As the AI agent, I'll just go with whatever you think is better.
As the AI agent, you're gonna go with whatever I think is better.
Yes, and there we go. Oh, just kidding. But maybe it's because it's using Max and it's getting confused with. Let's see. It's not. Oh, I guess it is. It just wasn't done. There we go. Oh, the dashboard is fully loaded. The error is gone. We can see the dashboard. Then everything's cool.
A prompt we should try, because this has no dummy data in it, is can we ask it to insert dummy data in all the places? Oh, this feels like a potential prompt that could kick off a bunch of sub-agents.
That is true. Great thinking. And also just a little tip here. Ideally, the agent knows how to do everything by itself, but in the off chance that it doesn't, and you'd run into a problem where the agent is constantly failing to figure out the issue and solve the issue, you might want to prompt the agent to look for the issue first and only look for the issue first, because then the context is much smaller and the agent only has one task, which is to find the issue, and then separate the solving prompt into a different prompt. This way it makes it a lot more organized for the agent. And also, if you think about it from a human perspective, even though the agent is not human, it is much easier to first navigate where the issue is. And then once that issue is found, we can resolve it by prompting another prompt. And also in theory, it should not cost too many credits, because it is essentially doing the same thing, but much organized manner. As a matter of fact, it might save a lot of credits because the chances of finding and solving the problem is much higher. So that might be the way to go. Yeah, just some, prompting tips, some AI tips.
And to that point, the saving credits is ultimately part of the research sub-agents as well, where the point is to be more efficient and to be able to explore things faster and not make mistakes. So inherently, these research sub-agents, as your project gets bigger, will help you consume less. While this is happening, should we go back to the Pokemon app?
Yes. Oh, all right. What has happened here?
What has happened here? And do we want to pull up the one you built earlier?
The one I built earlier?
The one you built.
This is the huge prompt for Pokemon. If that's what you're talking about.
No,
I think we should take a look at this one first.
All right, let's take a look at this one.
Right.
One way that I've liked to use sub-agents, maybe we're not at the point in this app yet, maybe we do a couple more features here, but one way I've been liking using sub-agents as my projects get bigger is to simply be like, explore the code base and suggest a couple features that we should build next.
That is a good idea.
Not too many pages on the screen, so we may want to make it more complicated first.
Yes.
Oh, and while we're on this, let's not do auto. Should we? Because typically when we do auto, it goes into max, and this doesn't feel like something where we need max.
That's true. Probably something thinking could do. All right.
All right, back to the finance dashboard.
Yes.
This is what I mean. So for people who are not in the know, if you are on our Max plan, you also have access to Max, our autonomous agent that honestly is very, very cool. Basically, Max is able to use your desktop as if it was a Max is able to use your desktop as if you were like a real human. So it's able to take screenshots. For example, if your onboarding flow is broken, Max can go through every single screen, interact with it, enter email and password like a real user, and like really see where the bugs are. Also, I am seeing that we have a couple questions. Send your questions in the chat. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not seeing that we have a couple questions yet. Please send your questions in the chat, and welcome to people watching. It sounds like we have a good chunk of people tuned in, so that's very exciting.
Oh, it's starting to load in.
Oh, I'm sorry. We do have questions in the chat. Sorry, this is my first time using StreamYard. Can you just do an overview of research agents and what they are? Yes, for people who have just rejoined, yesterday we launched research agents. Research agents are essentially sub-agents where as your project gets bigger, let's say you have 50 plus files, you may have noticed in your vibe coding experience that the quality of what goes down, right? Like you ask it to change the color of one button and suddenly it breaks everything because there's just so much context that the agent has to understand. With research agents, as your project gets bigger, that is no longer an issue because before the agent does any changes, if it seems like a complex task, it will go ahead and it will launch a bunch of sub-agents to explore the code base, make sure that it knows exactly what to be working on and where the changes should be made, and then do the work. So it thinks, researches before it acts. This makes things a lot more efficient. So coding is a lot faster now. The agent knows exactly where it should be working. And most importantly, it consumes less credits because you're not wasting as much on different bugs and errors and things like that. Do you need to ask for research agents or do they just show up? It's dependent. Like right now, the way that we're prompting this is typically use sub-agents to explore the code base. But as your code base gets bigger, you'll notice that the agents will kind of be invoked on their own without you prompting first. Philip, do you have anything to add to either of those?
Yes. So if you're curious on whether or not the agent actually used these research agents, sometimes it may appear inside the steps because I'm in thinking mode, but most of the times it will come out here in the main response. However, if you see these blocks with check marks next to them or even yellow dots that are pulsating, that means it's either explored the code base or it is exploring the code base. If it's a check mark, it already explored it. If it's a yellow pulsating dot, it's still in the process of exploring it. And these should kick off depending on how big the context is. It looks like here it kicked off 2 sub-agents. These work in parallel, so these actually save you a bit of time as opposed to no research agents. If you have no research agents, then it's just going to look one by one, which is very time consuming, especially if the project is huge. And in this case, it did 2 together. I remember, while this was in development, there were sometimes like 10 research sub-agents going on at the same time, and the response was much faster. And of course, through my luck, it's kind of hard to see 10 research agents going on at the same time while we're live. But I have seen it before. It is much faster, and it is also slightly cheaper in terms of credits being used. It is using a slightly cheaper model because the the entire job of these research sub-agents is to just explore the code base. It's not like, okay, you have to think of something crazy to do this, or you have to change this in a very efficient way. No, it's just exploring the code base. It's literally just little minions that are going throughout the code base looking for stuff, and so these can save you on credits. And it seems like this one used 2 research agents. It is still going, so I'm going to let that go. And then we have this for the data. It's finally in this dashboard. I don't know what type of discount they have for an Equinox gym, but there's no way they're paying $90 a month for that. Anyways, yes, Alina, what was it that you wanted to add to this app?
What is it that I want to add to this? Okay, I am actually about to send over a prompt to you to see if we can. I think still, like, what's so exciting about the research agents is when you're able to just, like, Philip, I'm sending this prompt to you over Slack. When you're able to just, like, see it work on its own, like that magic moment experience of just, like, asking a really tough prompt and then seeing all these sub agents launch without you asking for them, without you, like, having an error where it's actively looking and exploring the code base for that error. So I think my favorite exercise as we've been testing out research agents has really been just, like, trying to think up the most complex prompts possible to make the research agents work. However, I'm seeing that this prompt also didn't work. It's not complicated enough for the research agents, so we should keep trying. In the meantime, Simon Says Hey is asking, what is an example of something you've unlocked because of research agents? Philip, do you have an answer to this question?
Yes, time. I have unlocked time in my life because I don't have to worry about the agent not finding something, or because the sub agents run in parallel. It's a lot easier to just be. It's a lot more comforting as a user knowing that there are dedicated sub agents that are actively looking for whatever you're looking for, instead of having to look in the code, especially if you're not technical. You don't have to go looking through the code. You can just ask the agent. As a matter of fact, you don't even need to know what the problem is, because you can just directly relay whatever the agent just spat out back into the agent and tell it to fix it, which is what I did earlier. I don't remember what the error was, but it saves a bit of time, saves a bit of credits. Yeah. What about you, Alina?
I think, and also, let's see this now. Philip, I just sent another message in the chat. Will we see it on your screen? You might have to refresh the page. Honestly, I think it just, for me, has made things a lot easier to follow as, like, a non-technical builder. I think the most interesting part of it is actually seeing, like, in those boxes that show up with the yellow pulsing or, like, the green tick, you'll see exactly what the research agent is doing, right? So for me, it's been really interesting to get a better sense of exactly what steps the agent needs to take depending on the prompt that I'm asking it for. And, like, if I'm asking it to add a bunch of, for example, a bunch of dummy data, like what are the actual things that it's researching for to understand what points it needs to, like, populate that data. So to me, it has just really helped me stay in touch with what's going on as the agent works, versus just doing one of those things where you're vibe coding and you just are pressing enter and please fix and you just don't know what's going on. Oh, Samuel is asking, can you give a couple examples of what research agents would be good at?
The way I think about research agents from a technical side, Alina, I think you can think about this from a non-technical side. For me, it actually helps the developers a lot when we're trying to troubleshoot your apps. So that's one thing. If Dylan sends me any projects and he's like, there's something going wrong here, and we don't know what it is, or maybe we know at a very high level what the issue is, we can just kick off research agents, or even the user could do this now instead of having to reach out to us and having to wait for us to respond. You could kick this off and just figure out the problem yourself, or have the agent figure out and solve the problem itself. This is very efficient in terms of issues within large projects, like I said earlier. So that is probably my favorite way of using research agents, and probably my preferred way of using research agents, is to just not have to worry about, oh, like, this app is getting big, it's going to be a huge pain in the ass to try and figure out how can I fix it. It's just going to figure out it's going to run sub-agents in parallel, and then it's going to be able to figure out, oh, this is where it's probably happening, or maybe even there's multiple places where issues are happening. You can have these research agents come back to you and tell you all the problems that are happening. And that's probably my favorite way of using this. What about you, Alina?
Yeah, I think what it makes me think of, like specifically the way that you're wording this question, can you give a couple examples of what research agents would be good at? Is like traditionally good design feels invisible, right? Like when design is really good, it almost feels like you don't notice it. And that to me is like the real value prop of research agents. The point of research agents is that vibe coding experience that you have when you are just getting started on an app, when there's still very little context, when it's a lot faster for the agent to act and operate and build your app, that experience should stay when you are 3 months into building your massive project and like don't know what's going on in the code base anymore. And so to me, what research agents would be good at specifically is just maintaining that like magic vibe coding experience throughout the entire flow of you building an app without all of like this is why we say vibe coding is over. Like there's so many kind of like habits and rules that you have to learn when you think about vibe coding, like different tips and tricks on how to prompt and things like that. And with research agents, a lot of that like education doesn't need to be done anymore. However, speaking of which, we still haven't successfully prompted research agents with our asks. So I'm curious, Philip, how can we make this more complicated?
That is not true. We successfully did it here. But the whole idea of research agents is you don't need to use it all the time. Sometimes we have enough context, the agent, has enough context to not use research agents because the agent will know, or you could tell it, but in theory, that you don't have enough context or you don't know enough about the code base. Maybe you should do more searching throughout the code base. But because these are not maybe like 1,000 file projects, it doesn't need to kick off multiple, and in this case, more than 2. Even though this project is not as big, it still kicked off 2, which is a good thing, because it's being more thorough with, making sure that it knows about everything. In my experience using research agents and also testing research agents, it depends on the prompt, depends on the project. It doesn't even have to be too big of a project. It could be a complex project. And sometimes the agent just thinks, maybe we should use 1 here. We don't need to use more than 1. Or maybe we should use 10 here. Maybe we need to use at least 10. And it's all just like, I don't know if we can prompt the agent to use, or to tell it to use 5 research agents here or not, because then it might be confusing to the agent, because it's like, why do we need to use more than 2, So I don't think it's a bad thing that we can't kick it off. Maybe it's even a good thing because the agent is capable of, holding so much context, even though we're building such big apps. It's not always, we want to see more research agents being run. In those cases, it's sufficient to only run like maybe 1 or 2. But I guess if you're asking in terms of demonstration, yeah, it's pretty unlucky we've only had 2 as the max, but we can keep going there. That's the whole point of making an app, right? You want to see the app being built from start to finish, so maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna keep trying with these prompts that I'm throwing into the anything chat. But also, what a great opportunity. Should we use just the multi-chat feature?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I just added a prompt into the Pulse financial data one. Let's see if it kicked off sub-agents this time. And again, like to Philip's point, we don't always need research agents. Like it's not always necessary. However, for the sake of the next 30 minutes, let's try to see if we can kick off as many research agents as possible. And specifically, let's see if we break it if we're kicking off a bunch of different research agents across a bunch of chats that are happening at the same time.
All right, fun little mini game, I guess. The whole purpose is to break it so hard that you need so many research agents.
Exactly. Okay, Philip, you're still on the Pokédex screen. Do you want to switch over to the Pulse financial screen?
Yeah. Right. Yes.
Okay. Shall we kick off another chat?
Yes. Oh wow, this one's a big one.
So for people who are unaware, yeah, it's going to be poorly formatted, but life goes on. For people, these are, to be clear, I'm assuming no one is under any assumptions here that I'm actively just using GPT to come up with prompts that we can add that are more complex. But for people who are not aware of the speech and anything, we have the ability to kick off a bunch. Ah, there we go. So fun to see. Let's go. You can kick off a bunch of different chats at the same time. So a bunch of different agents can be running, like, one can be working on the front end, one can be editing your back end and things like that. So
yeah, so it seems because this is a big feature, it used 3 research agents instead of just 1 or 2. This is pretty reassuring. Oh, it kicked off 2 more, it seems.
nice. Is this? I didn't see the screen. Is this in the same prompt? We didn't send an updated prompt. Like the 3 agents that it kicked off another 2.
Oh, yeah. This is your prompt.
Oh, this is my prompt.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the second chat.
Yes.
I'm noticing that now it says failed to fetch dashboard data. So should we kick off a third chat that says, please figure out why it's failing to fetch dashboard data?
So that might actually be because of this.
That would make sense. Yeah, that checks out.
Because of this, when it reloads in real time. So sometimes, if there's generations going on, there's going to be edits being made to the dashboard. Or sorry, not the dashboard, just the app in general. Yes, it's okay. As an engineer, it makes sense for me. But don't be alarmed if things are still being, generated, that the app looks seemingly broken. You just kind of have to wait until at the end of the generation.
And it says updating in the corner. So I asked a silly question because it was obvious from the UI.
Yes. We're also working on making everything, all the updating stuff better.
Cool. All right. I'm going to kick off another chat just to keep going here.
Sick.
All right, Pulse social feed, and then we're going to add a bills and subscriptions negotiation feature.
I'm not sure the right tab. Hold on. Let me show the Pokédex, actually.
Ooh, okay. What are we seeing on the Pokemon?
I was actually confused why it's question mark, question mark, question mark. It's actually intended. That's what the agent wanted to make. So we now have team and favorites. If we go into this, we have a good description.
Oh, wow. This is really cute. Oh.
Yeah, as a Pokemon enthusiast, this looks pretty accurate. We got the logo right too. Yeah. Nice. All right, and then if you favorite this, it actually updates the favorites.
Oh, nice.
All right, how can we make this even better?
I want even more features.
Let's see.
Maybe include where. Actually, I don't know if they would know that information off the top of its head. Where you can catch Pokemon in Leaf Green. I actually
What
have no
is-
idea if it's capable of this because only a true Pokemon master would know this stuff. But
Yeah, can you explain what a Pokemon Leaf Green is?
okay, that's one of the games. That's the game I got. It's just one of the two games that have these Pokemon.
Well, in
Um,
theory, the agent can do research, so it
In
could
theory,
search up on Leaf.
in theory, yes, but
In
you can
theory,
never do two. All right, let's take a look at here. All right, so I didn't make any changes to this app, and it's back to normal. So yeah, it was just updating. You said you gave me one more prompt, or
I did. You might have to refresh to see it, but it's kicked off Max for me. Oh, I should have done it not in Max.
it's okay. I completely forgot to take off Max this entire time.
Oh, and we got 3 research agents on this one. They're in the thinking.
Oh,
Let's go. So far,
Yes.
what's our tally? We have kicked off like 8, maybe?
this actually makes sense because we started at 1, I think it was 1 research agent, and then it went to 2, and then now we're at 3 for both projects. It seems like as the project is getting bigger and bigger, it needs more, context. Needs to research more about what it wrote in the past. So this is good. This is a good sign that it's working properly.
Philip, Samuel asks, how many engineers did it take to build research agents? I think just 1, right?
I think it was 1. It took more than 1 to make sure that everything was working properly, as in testing, because we do, try to be very transparent about like what we're working on. Even if it's just 1 engineer working on it, we try our best to work together to make sure, we know what's going on. We know what could be conflicting with other features. But this was 1, I'm pretty sure.
Wow. Also, I'm hearing that 200 people are tuned into this. That's awesome. So happy to have you on the live stream. As a reminder, if anyone who's new, the entire premise of this live stream is to show you how research work, which is a feature that we just launched yesterday, and essentially makes it super easy for the agent to really efficiently and effectively capture context as your project gets bigger. If you send a prompt, the agent can launch a bunch of research subagents to explore your code base before it starts actually generating any code, so that it knows where to be generating code and is not honestly just wasting time doing the wrong things. And it just makes things a lot faster and a lot smoother, so that your vibe coding experience is as good on month 3 as it is on day 1.
Nice.
Nice. All right. What was where we left off with the Pokemon app?
Yeah, it was a terrible prompt.
Ask for more features, right?
I think my childhood instincts came in a bit here. I was not thinking about kicking off any research agents. I just wanted to know where to catch Pokemon. So,
No, your prompt was very much you just wanted to keep building the app.
yes. Who knows? Maybe I'll even make a Pokédex app for real, because no one knows about these hidden websites of Pokemon like Cerebi or Smogon. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but that's okay.
I don't. Also, your sound is a little bit choppy right now.
Oh, sorry. Like my voice?
I think it's better. We'll see if the chat says anything.
Maybe it was just my voice.
Maybe. Okay. While that's working, we're going to kick off another prompt in Michael's Financial app. Also,
why are you giving Pokemon some love? Why are these prompts for the Pulse? Prompts for Pokemon? That's pretty disrespectful.
okay. I'm hearing from Simon says, hey, that it's weird and I can't hear him. Are you covering the mic?
I don't think so. Here, let me try something.
Are you trying something?
Yes. What about now?
That sounds much better. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I don't know why, but it just randomly switched to my iPhone microphone.
Oh, I see.
That makes no sense.
Oh, Apple.
Apple, fix your stuff.
Apple. Speaking of Apple, we also launched Liquid Glass this last week for anyone who hasn't seen that. So now you can create some beautiful Liquid Glass designs in your apps.
Yes, we did. There are more things that are going to complement Liquid Glass very soon. It's pretty sick, but I won't say it until we
We're
launch it.
to update you. Wait, yeah, Liquid Glass was unreal. My app seems so much more legit. Thank you. We worked hard on that one.
And sorry for any Android users.
Yeah.
Unlucky. Alright, it better show me what location. Oh! Wait! This is right.
As in the actual details are accurate?
Yeah, these are right.
I'm sorry, you know the details well enough that you know that they're accurate?
Of course!
Of course, okay.
Actually, I don't... Is this true? I don't know if this is true. Oh, I see there's multiple. Oh, it's grouped by... Okay, it's grouped by common Pokemon.
Just for people who have not been here the whole time, the point of this live stream is to showcase the research agents. However, in the process of showcasing research agents, Philip has gotten really into building this Pokemon app. So we're doing a side tangent to just keep building out this app.
Ooh, this could be better. Level up? That's too vague.
Tell the agent. Tell the agent.
Yeah, you're right. Pikachu level up is wrong. Do I give it the answer or do I just say figure out?
Say figure it out and see if it does the research it should.
Correct.
Yeah, actually, Philip, well, send this prompt and then I'll ask you.
Yes. Okay,
question from chat, which also is a question I have. How does it have the Pokemon pigs?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't really know. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know where. I'm pretty sure it might have searched the web
and just like fully took those pics. Yeah, because like for it to have uploaded those photos, it must have already done a web search.
I guess so. I'm hoping so. I hope I hope it did it a humanely way instead of like, I don't know. Where did it get these pictures from? That's a good question. Oh. I don't work on the Asian side, so I actually don't know. I think it might have done a web search and just pulled it from the web, because these pictures do look familiar. Oh wow, they're being revealed. Oh, it's when you click on them, but it doesn't update properly. Or maybe it's because it's generating. All right, anyways.
All right, well, back to the Pulse app.
Yes. So this kicked off 3. This also kicked off 3 research agents.
Yeah. I'm trying to actually wait. Let me ask GPT. Those prompts.
You're completely made up.
Okay. I'm asking GPT for a prompt that will help me give off 5 research agents. So let's see if that works. My goal, again, we have different goals in this live stream, Philip. My goal is to try and kick off as many as possible. Your goal is to build your Pokemon app. And I think both goals are just as important. So let's see if we...
I mean, sorry. It's like Pokemon's anniversary. Got to give respect to Pokemon.
Okay, I'm seeing, Philip, you might have to refresh. I just launched another chat.
Yes. Right.
A chat that is supposed to get to 5. Oh, this time around, it's a big enough prompt that it's like putting together an implementation plan.
Hmm.
Hmm.
All right. Yeah, it turns out humans might be better at understanding.
It turns out humans might be better at engineering what?
Humans are just better at understanding Pokemon. Like, where's Pichu gone? Oh, actually, that's a lie. I don't think Pichu is in. Is Pichu in Gen 1?
You gotta correct the agent. What is this knowledge?
I actually don't know. I'm gonna have to look this up. Oh, okay. Oh my god. Okay, AI just kind of exposed me as a fraud. Pichu's not in Gen 1. Pichu is in Gen 2. Alright, anyways, let me go back to the steps. Sorry.
All right, we have an implementation plan. If we approve it, will it then kick off the sub-agents?
Potentially.
All right, let's try. Because it didn't kick off sub-agents for the thinking part of this.
Yeah, this is also a relatively new thing.
I don't know if we fully announced that, right?
I actually don't know either. Just in case, we're not going to mention it. We're not going to make
Okay.
it here.
Forget this just happened.
Whoever's tuning in, you saw it here, but
You saw alpha and nothing else.
no, you got special access to see what's going on.
Okay, so it did kick off sub-agents for this one.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that was the other one. This is so interesting because I would assume
Maybe your prompt wasn't good enough.
my prompt wasn't good enough. Or my prompt was so good that it went beyond research agents and just fully did a redacted.
Maybe. I just
Maybe.
realized people might be tuning in and have no idea why we're trying to get so many research agents to come up. It's because we want to see how many research agents we can kick off at once.
Yeah. And so far, I think we're at 12, which is not too bad. 12 across, let's see how many prompts we've sent out.
Oh, 12 across all of them.
Well, we're not counting your... I think with your Pokemon ones, we have 14. At Anath Strauss says hello. Hello, Anath Strauss. How are you today? What is going on? Great question. We have been talking about research agents, which is a new feature that we've been building with anything, so that as your code base gets bigger, the agent is able to efficiently and effectively and fastly capture the content that it needs before it starts generating code. So you no longer have that problem of like, if you ask in like a really huge project, please update the color of this button, and then everything breaks. You no longer have that problem because the agent is able to explore first, recognize exactly what code it needs to edit, and leave the rest alone, and also do it really fast.
This is pretty accurate for San Francisco around here.
So I think that we've kicked off as many research. How are the other chats doing right now? Like the ones in this database?
Let's take a look.
And then, oh my God, we kicked off so many.
This one kicked off 5.
5 on its own. Let's go. This, by the way, what you're seeing on the chat here is the Max agent actively going through the project for you and like seeing it as Philip, if you want to scroll down.
Oh yes.
This is also a really cool feature, being able to like take screenshots and go through the app and interact with it as if it was a real user, so that it figures out where the bugs are. If you are on a Max plan, just to save yourself some credits, Probably the best way to do it is to not be in order all the time and to keep things in thinking or fast, just because most of the time the agent will try and default to max because it's a lot more comprehensive. What's different from max to this? By this, I assume you mean the research subagents, and that is just the research subagents just happen when the code base is big enough or when you actively trigger it by asking it to use research subagents. With Max, Max is an autonomous agent that is available on our Max plan. And that agent essentially it's just like, it is a real human. It acts like a real user and is able to use your app for you. So two separate things, but Max operates as a mode in chat. So if you're in auto and you're on the Max plan, it will sometimes, it will often default to using Max for you.
This is just wrong. I can't stop looking at it. I wish it was $90.
Philip, do you want to end this with our Pokemon app?
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah. It seems like
Pokemon app.
I don't know what type of prompts you gave it, but these look pretty big.
Yeah. That's a goal. To be clear, you should not be writing prompts like this. Your prompts should be very short to the point. Focus on one feature at once. Like, make sure that each prompt is sequential rather than throwing a bunch of things. This was just to try and make things as complicated for the agent as possible.
And with that, let me add something on. It's actually might be more credit efficient to do it like one feature at a time. Like the whole idea of good practice with AI agents is that you do it very incrementally. You have checkpoints where, this app works. Okay, we're going to add one more feature. If you try to do it all at once, it gets really scrambled, not as organized as it would be if you did it, one prompt at a time. So, and also if you try to prompt everything all at once, it might mess it up. And then you have to spend more credits on, making sure that whatever issues are there are fixed. When if you use multiple prompts, you wouldn't need to do that. So
that being said, all of the prompts that we gave Pulse, the other app just now, were prompts that like actively do the opposite of this, right? Like they were prompts that were intended to break the agent, and because of the research agents, then they're not. They're actively able to work and execute at the same time. Yes, I too have learned this the hard way on Stroud.
All right. So
all right.
Hopefully, I can win it here by having 6 research agents or more.
Let's see.
If it's 0, it's pretty sad.
If it's 0, we.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It's just like that.
Okay.
Just like that. Crazy. Oh my god! Leave it to the technical people to understand how to get things done.
All right. That's non-technical hate right now.
That's pretty sick. I called it too, by the way. 6.
Should we end it here on this win for you?
It's a good way to end it.
Drink.
We should probably wait until these are actually done.
All right.
I did tell it to not do anything, or I guess I didn't say explicitly don't do anything. I just said explain at a very high level. But yeah, it seems like it's just like studying the entire code base, which has not too many files, but I think each of these have like a decent amount of code ? Oh yeah, decent amount.
So it's got an answer already.
God, this is pretty specific.
Quite a technical answer.
To be fair, I did ask it to explain how it's working.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think Philip wins this one, and we'll run it back another time.
Yes. Hold on. Let me just look at this one more time. 6.
Let's go.
That's pretty impressive. I called it by the way.
Yeah, you did.
Someone put. That was pretty.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, check out our research agents. Also, cannot talk about anything without shilling our Max plan, because genuinely, you've seen it in this live stream. The Max agent is super cool. So I think both Max and research agents together, just like magic vibe coding experience, really.
Oh, one more thing to add. I'm pretty sure research agents is for everyone.
Everyone,
You
yeah.
don't need Max.
No,
I'm using
but,
thinking. It worked.
but you should get Max just because it's great.
It is pretty powerful, to be fair.
Gotta plug ourselves. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Any last words from Philip?
Just remember this moment. I hope someone clipped it. If not, I will go back into the stream and clip it myself. That was pretty sick.
All right. Talk to you all soon.